The death of a loved one can be a very disturbing and confusing time. The profound sense of loss can leave many of us feeling disoriented and adrift. Sometimes words, even well-intentioned words of consolation, feel somehow inadequate. When language fails us, we can take refuge in the mourning practices outlined by our sages. In their great wisdom, they created a series of mourning practices that demonstrate a profound understanding of the human psyche. Even those of us who are not particularly observant of many aspects of our tradition have found comfort in the rhythm and community support built into Jewish mourning traditions. There are a number of stages of Jewish mourning that demonstrate different levels of intensity. They guide us through these difficult times. At first, our loss may seem too difficult to bear. The period immediately after death and before the funeral is known as Aninut. Aninut is considered the most disorienting and challenging time. The bereaved is referred to as an onan. It literally translates into someone who is being pressed upon. During this period of time, a mourner is exempted from any religious responsibilities for prayer. This brief period of time takes into account the shock and emotional pain experienced by parents, children, siblings, and spouses. It's a protective shield placed around the mourner, where social and religious obligations are put aside. It is also a recognition of the all-encompassing intensity of our grief. The only obligations we have during this time are to ensure that the deceased receives a proper burial. If the deceased has planned their funeral in advance, this keeps these obligations to an absolute minimum. A tradition that is often undertaken in observant Jewish communities is called shmira, or the guarding of the body of the deceased. This is also a recognition that the period between death and burial is a transitional one, where the souls of our departed remain between two worlds, the olam hazeh, the world of the living, and olam haba, the world to come. This precarious time is seen as particularly sensitive. It is also the reason why the Jewish tradition places a high premium on quick burial. It's a time when we can help to lead our loved ones towards the world to come.